Hey guys, it's Rodimus Primal. I am back with another video, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Star Wars. So, a lot of news happened over this past week when it comes down to Episode 9 and the trailer, and sure, I got a lot to talk about, and yeah, it's kind of interesting, and it's kind of bittersweet. So, so sit back, relax, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Okay, so I really didn't want to make this video. I'm going to be honest with you. I want to, kind of put all the cards on the table so you guys know where I'm coming from with this. I'm a fan of the original trilogy. I love the original trilogy. My parents grew up watching, they were adults watching the original trilogy. I was born, and I think the first movie I ever saw in theaters as a toddler was Return of the Jedi. So I have a very strong connection to Star Wars in general. I appreciate the prequels. I see the good and the bad and the ugly with the prequels. But with this sequel trilogy, I kind of I overlooked a lot of the stuff I didn't like in The Force Awakens. But when The Last Jedi came out, I was like, I want to force myself to like it. A lot of people kind of felt this way too. They either straight up hated it or they went, okay, and I kind of took a step back and went, I don't know if I can really enjoy this. And then I watched it 2 more times, and each time I watched The Last Jedi, each time I hated it more. And I remember sitting down with my entire family, and we all sat down, we watched The Last Jedi, and that was the 3rd and final time that I watched it. And we all spent a good 2.5 hours just discussing about everything we could not stand about The Last Jedi, how we hated this and that, and we picked the movie apart. I mean, you can only imagine, my parents are in their 60s, so they're sitting there it's not supposed to be like this, and it's supposed to be like this. Can you imagine 60-year-old, fanboys and fangirls, complaining about this stuff? Yeah, I can. And you know what? It kind of gives me a good glimpse into the future, because as I get older, I'm still going to be this, a fanboy this way. And I kind of, one of the things that came out of that conversation is we pretty much swore off, as a family, Star Wars. We said we're not going to see Solo in theaters. We are not going to watch any more Star Wars movies in theaters. We're done. Star Wars for us it's over. My mother was just completely upset. She was already upset because of Force Awakens, killing off Han Solo. She, my mother, absolutely adores Harrison Ford. So with Last Jedi, we were like, I don't want to see this anymore. And, Solo came out, and now it's on Netflix, and I still haven't seen it, and I've heard the good and the bad and the ugly about it. One of the things is, if you don't want to see a movie, you're willing to take the spoilers and kind of, take them and go, maybe I should hear it and kind of see where it's going. And so Episode 9's trailers just dropped, and I saw it. I saw the trailer, and I'm like, I'm having mixed emotions, because the wound for The Last Jedi is still so deep for us and for my family, but yet we want to see how Episode 9 ends. But I started to think about it. I really started to think this through and started to think about how I really feel about everything that's going on with the trailer. So let me break down the things that happened in the trailer. And of course, this is a spoiler. If you haven't seen the trailer, please go watch the trailer, because it's kind of going into some of the details about it here. But you start off with this Rey awakens from a dream state again. This is the 3rd time that we've seen this happen in a Star Wars movie. It's every single trailer, they have to have the they wake up. And I don't know about you. That kind of it's getting old. It doesn't feel like a Star Wars trailer. It feels like Disney Star Wars trailer. And that's just kind of how they all start. And she does this flip over a TIE fighter, which it's probably Kylo Ren who's piloting the TIE fighter. And as I watch the flip, to be quite honest with you, I'm believing that it is a dream sequence. It has to be a dream sequence. There's no way that she can literally do that unless you really want to say the Force powers that she can do that. But then again, The Last Jedi subverted our expectations by having Leia freaking fly. I'm no. Yeah, so I believe it's a dream sequence. At least I hope it's a dream sequence, because, you know, unless there's a certain amount of time that she started to really pass on the, you know, started to gain some more knowledge as far as, you know, what she can do with the Force. And the lightsaber she has, you know, we're kind of wondering, like, where did she get that lightsaber? Did she rebuild the lightsaber? Did she fix it using the Force? Did she, you know, just kind of build it out of, like, memory, out of herself, and find kyber crystals to make a new one? And then we see a bunch of other sequences, and they start using Leia's theme. And this is something that, as I started to listen to it, this to me felt like this was like the goodbye to Leia. This movie is the apology movie. This is where I started feeling like the bittersweet emotion, because when I saw the first part of the trailer, I was like, really? Okay, we're gonna go this way, or they're gonna make her like she's more important than she, you know, like no one else is gonna be important. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. And I'm watching the rest of the stuff and seeing Billy D. Williams in the trailer like that. He is a national treasure, and having him come back is going to be fantastic. No matter how you look at it, he's just going to be awesome in the role. Billy D. Williams is just straight awesome. But we also heard, you know, as I'm listening to Leia's theme, and they used, you know, the sequence, the parts of Leia and Rey are hugging. And, you know, you really realize this is like the send-off, the goodbye to Carrie Fisher, because Carrie Fisher didn't like her role in Episode 8. So I'm hoping that her role that they do use in the new movie is good. You start to see stuff like the destroyed Death Star. And to be quite honest with you, I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool. That's kind of nifty. Like, I want to see where they go with that. And then at the end, you find out the title and you hear a laugh. And the laugh is Palpatine. And the reason why I'm holding off on the title is because... Now, here's the thing about Palpatine. I've seen a lot of people complaining that bringing Palpatine back is a bad thing. But I don't think so. And let me tell you why. I think that it's not necessarily a bad thing, because Palpatine, you know, in the expanded universe, comes back as a clone. So that's a possibility. He could also come back possibly if they, you know, maybe if a Sith suddenly gained the ability to actually come back as a Force ghost. We don't know. I'm really curious as to how he is going to be used as a villain. I think that he did die at the end of Return of the Jedi, so it's not taking away from Vader's or Anakin's, you know, victory. It's not taking away from the ending of Return of the Jedi. I think that it's Palpatine has found a way to, you know, return in a way that, you know, just like the expanded universe, could come back and cause a lot of these events to unfold in ways that we didn't even think. So that's a possibility. And it would not surprise me. And I honestly hope that, you know, however they handle the character, they handle him well and they close him off after this. Like, we don't want to see Palpatine return as a villain after this point, because if they're going to bring him back, it needs to be like a one and done kind of thing. And because it's just like a villain that, you know, we were happy to see go at the end of Return of the Jedi, and, you know, seeing his rise in the prequel trilogy. So I'm just like the rest of the movie. I'm just like as very much I'm down the middle with it. The Rise of Skywalker. Now, this is kind of like bothersome to me, is because this is what I hated about Episode 8. Luke dies at the end of Episode 8. Yes, it's a spoiler, but I can't stand The Last Jedi enough to the point that they destroyed his character and they kill him off at the end. And I feel like, you know, calling it The Rise of Skywalker, it's supposed to mean something. Or it's kind of like designed to make us want to see it, and yet you get this.
I think The Rise of Skywalker it doesn't answer anything. It's provocative, it asks questions, and it could mean a lot of different things. And I think that that's what was important to us. We didn't want to have a title that felt like it was telling you the story.
Yeah, so she doesn't even know why it's called The Rise of Skywalker, or it's supposed to mean something, or it's not supposed to mean something. Well, if it's supposed to mean something, then please enlighten me. Enlighten me in how, episode 9 is going to be worth my time to watch. How, this movie is going to not subvert my expectations, because here's the thing with episode 8. They keep using the term subverting my expectations, or subverting the expectations. I expected a decent sequel. I expected a decent movie. I expected to fall in love with all of the new and old and existing characters. Instead, what I got was a movie that I absolutely hated. So, is it too much to ask for a good movie? Like, is to expect a good movie, especially out of Disney? To expect a good Star Wars tale out of Disney? I guess so. And that's what Rian Johnson kept on, doing. And then he started insulting fans and going crazy. And so they really realized, I think what happened was, and why they got J.J. Abrams to direct, was because they realized we need to get this movie closed properly. We found out that J.J. Abrams has consulted with George Lucas on how to properly end this saga. Because if you know anything about J.J. Abrams, he does a lot of awesome build-up. If you ever watched Lost, J.J. Abrams, I really don't think that he knows how to properly close things out, which is why he needed to consult someone like George Lucas to properly end the saga. And Kathleen Kennedy, she's a producer. She's very much like Lorenzo di Bonaventura when it comes down to Transformers. They get their fingers in it because they don't know enough about the universe, and they seem to twist things, so that they think that it'll make more money, or they'll push their own thoughts and ideas into it, but they aren't the ones who are telling the story. So they really should not be putting so much push into making the movie, because she said in interviews where all of us are pretty much disconnected. Well, if you're that disconnected, then you shouldn't be making statements that you don't know anything about. Just my own opinion, and I don't hate the lady. No, a lot of people I know really hate the lady, and that's just where I draw the line. I don't go off and trying to hate people and start to say because you say this or you say that, because then it gets into stupid politics. What we want is good storytelling out of Star Wars. We want Star Wars movies that were good, and this is supposed to be the closure of the saga. This is supposed to be the movie that, to a lot of people, and I saw this on another channel. Someone said this is the apology film, the Highlander 3, where the second movie was so bad that the third movie is out to make the apology. And I'm wondering if that's really the case for episode 9. But where I feel about it is like this. If you ever seen The Empire Strikes Back, and Han believes that he has everything to believe and everything to trust walking into Bespin. It's kind of ironic that they're bringing in Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian into this, because they walk into Cloud City and they're like, believe me, you can trust Lando, and it's a trap. And then, of course, knowing the pain is coming, and Han is just being brought down into that electric, panel, and he's about to be shocked. That's how I feel about episode 9. I really feel like everything looks great. Everything looks fantastic, but I am so apprehensive about it, because The Last Jedi was so bad, the wound was so deep, that I still haven't watched Solo, and people have watched Solo, and I'm being brought down, and I'm like, oh, no, I don't want the pain, please, no. And that's how I feel. And I don't know how to take this. I don't know whether to be excited, or whether to be or angry, or just cautiously optimistic. I don't know where to go with this. I don't know what you guys, I want to know what you guys think, man, because please, just it's just I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I swore off Star Wars after episode 8, and I'm at a point where I'm looking at episode 9, and I'm honestly believing that this could be a trap. But it's just kind of like a gut feeling. But I'm hoping the movie is good. So I will be kind of like paying attention from the sidelines, or trying to like keep my distance, because I don't want to be hurt again. And I have every reason to have my guard up when it comes down to this movie, because of how much Star Wars means to my entire family and why all of us feel this way. But I don't know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Please let me know what you guys think about all this Star Wars news that's been happening recently. Whether or not you would really intend to see episode 9, and should I, it's on Netflix. Should I watch Solo? Let me know. If you like this video, be sure to thumbs up and subscribe. I've got more videos coming soon. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.